Hello YouTube fans, here again. Now as I've done the original Amityville, why not my favourite, Amityville 2, The Possession. Say that again, Amityville 2, The Possession. Now I never knew this, but they said this is a true story, just like the original. But if you believe that, you believe anything. The only bit was a true story is the family gets shot, just like the offence, right? And I'm going to tell you the real story of the Amityville, why not? But I'll tell you that maybe later on. Now, this is based on, I think, before the other family moved in. So you could say it's sort of like a prequel. They move into the house. The house I know is a different house from the original, but I still like the house. It looks very similar to how it was in the original. So you got a family that move in, right? And you got this cupboard. It's like a cellar, and it's down below, and this guy's helping them move the stuff, and it's got flies, and it's got maggot, and it's got poo, it's got all sorts. And he advises the mum not to go in the cellar because it's cheap. It's like a red door. And I do remember that they did have a cellar like that in real life. It was mentioned in the book. So you got that, and you got the idea that the father's abusive, and that did actually happen in real life, the real father. And I think I've seen this actor before. Think of the one that plays Paula in the Rocky films. Yeah, it's him. He's quite abusive. And this is the days when you could slap kids if they misbehave and all that. You couldn't get away with that now, but it's based on a different era. But he really does slap these kids. You got the idea he's abusive with his kids. You got the idea he hits his wife. He's definitely not far from the there. And you've got the older lad in it, right? Now there's a bit here, it's a bit of taboo, this film, because you've got the idea there's a bit of incest going on here with him and his sister, which I think is a bit thingy actually, and that does actually happen in the film. Long below, the father's laying into the kids, they've got a priest who's pressed in the house, and he goes a bit mad. He has to go and apologise to the priest for hitting his kids, right? This is the bit where the lad hears this weird voice and he's looking around and the thing jumps on him. And I remember seeing this when I was a lad. You see his chest pumping up and down. The idea it's jumping on his chest. It's an invisible spirit. And it always cheaped me out, that. It always freaked me out. But the lad gets possessed. There's a bit where it's macaroni because it's a true story. And he gets possessed, and then you get weird things on the way happening. You know what I mean? You get weird things, and there's a bit, like I said, there's a bit of incest with his sister, and it goes that far. It's gonna be a bit ballsy for that film. But then you got the idea the house is haunted, it's doing things. Like there's a bit where it's writing on the wall, "Kill the pig," meaning the dad. And the one I've now got, the Annabelle or the possession, is the uncut one. It's not really that much uncut, but it's more where he shoots his family because the lad gets possessed, like I said, gets it done, and it's a bit ballsy film this when you think about it, because you do see it. He shoots his mum, and the uncut one you see him shoot his dad, and you don't see the kids get shot. Obviously they get shot off Steve, but you got the idea he shoots his little sister, he shoots his little brother. And the sister, the one who he fancied, which is a bit messed up, he even shoots his sister. I think this is a bit messed up film when you think about it. But I know it was a true story and that's what happened. But the real entity, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story, right? I think it's macaroni. The real life one who did that, right, was a drug addict. And his eyes are tight and he claimed he heard voices. The reason why he did that was because he was advised that if he repeated insanity, he would not get the electric chair. So figure that one out, people. How are you going to dodge the electric chair? You peed insanity. So he claimed he heard voices, and truth of the matter is, his eyes are tight because he was on drugs. That's the real life one who killed his family in the house of Entity, right? But it's a film, so I went along with it. He was possessed. Right, so the priest gets him and he's going to get arrested for killing his family. But then he discovers he's possessed. He's possessed. So what does he do? He tries to take him back to the house, right? He tries to take him back and try and get his evil spirit out of him. You do get two actors in it who I thought I've seen them before. One of them is in Fee, the miniseries, as well as the final Black Hole, and the other actor who plays one of the priests was in Fee, the miniseries. Well, that was interesting. But anyway, he goes to the house, and there's some good through practical effects. There's a bit where they go in that red door, as was mentioned in the book, and they see these sort of like spirits here and there, and he manages to get the evil spirit out of him. He says, take me, not this poor lad. And you got the idea that the evil spirit has possessed the father, the priest that is, and he's left in the house as limbo. You got the idea it's possessed him. So it's like a nervy ending. I do actually like the music. It's very similar to the original one, you know, the la 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 la, but it's like a different tune. It does have a different beat to it. It's still a bit cheapy and chilling in places. Is it scary? No, but I'm not up with horror films. No horror film scares me. But I do think it's cheaper. It does gel a bit better than the first one, because I felt, even though it didn't have as many popular actors in it, you know, like Roy Side, Dave Bolden, Market Ticker, even though it didn't have them in it, I felt the story went better. It was cheaper. There's bits in it with the father, and he sees the ghost of the girl who was the sister. And before he gets that out, you got the idea he might have fancied her, because the spirit's basically fucking with him. He sees her talking. He says, you want me, didn't you, father? She's putting her tongue in a sexual way. So the spirit is definitely messing with him, the father, the priest. But like I say, he gets it out. He gets possessed. And you get that cheapy music again. End of movie. But what do I think of Amityville, the Possession? It's a good one to me. I always felt that the Amityville, the original, was good as a standalone film. But saying that, I don't mind the second one. You know, it's cheaper. It's there. It's definitely messed up. Definitely balls there. The fact he kills his family, which is definitely messed up. But yeah, I know it was a true story. That happened. But I like the Amityville. You know what I mean? It's an old school type of horror film. I'll tell you the story of the film and how the house was claimed to be haunted, and you can believe it or not. The history was, there's a lot of history on the film. One, the 16th century, it was built by rich staff in devil worshippers. We hear something outside, downstairs, it's the dog and it stops barking. But it was claimed to be on rich staff in devil worshippers. And another one is, the house used to be a mental asylum for the chimney insane. Say that again. In the old century, the house was built near mental asylum for the chimney insane, which is the idea how the house is haunted. But I'm not one that believes in ghosts. I don't believe in goblins. I remember saying that before. But saying that, the Amityville house did have a lot of bad history, and that's why it was considered to be the worst haunted house in America. Say that again. The worst haunted house in America. But I'm one of them. Do I believe in ghosts? Do I believe in duelists? It's a good story. It's old school. It's psychological. It's suspenseful. It's what I like in horror. I do like the music. It's cheap, and you sort of feel sorry for the lad. Only the one in the film, not in the real life. But it is what it is. Other than that, that was the Amityville of Horror 2, the Amity 2, the Possession, shot in 1982. It's a good one, like I say, it's cheaper, has a cheaper atmosphere. I'll do more movies on the way into them. I'll see you soon.